Hello and welcome back to part 2 with the interview with fashion stylist and author Luanne McLean. How do you prepare for interviewing someone like Carrie Bradshaw? You know, because I imagine you're a Sex and the City fan.
Yeah, it was quite a funny day, to be honest, because I kind of kept it quiet so that I didn't get nervous. And then Hershey Pascal, who I was working with at the time, was literally so excited she was telling everyone. I was at the point where I wasn't telling anybody, and everybody was gathered around my desk, and I was literally like, leave me alone. And I was dressed to the nines and had pomegranate juice for my lunch and spilled it all down my outfit.
No!
So literally I wasn't in panic, everybody else was literally beside themselves. What are we going to do? So that was quite funny. And then when we got there, she'd actually been followed by paparazzi, and they'd smashed into the back of my car.
Oh my God.
So she'd actually been in an accident on the way there, so she was late. So we were all waiting ages and ages, and she was like, I'm not a diva, I'm not late on purpose, I'm an accident, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was supposed to only have about 5 questions with her, and I think I had about 12. I just kept going until they sort of moved her on. But that was really good. But obviously, with someone like that, you don't have to do that much research because you know that much about them anyway. It's more about her perfume and the nose of the perfume. And so obviously, you do have to angle it to what they're there to promote. But at the same time, you have to sort of think of your readership at the same time as well and what they would be interested in.
I think that you are just a genuinely nice person, and that comes through when you meet you. And as a journalist, I think you have to have that talent to make people at ease, and as a stylist, and I think you've got that talent.
Thank you, that's nice. It does help on the red carpet, to be friendly, because I've done the BAFTAs about 3 or 4 times now, and when you are on the red carpet, when people come in, they're not going to go to somebody that's standing there stony faced that they think's going to give them a hard time. And obviously who you're working for at that point, they see what channel or what magazine you're working for, then they will come to you from that. But I think it does help to be approachable and to be knowledgeable about the people that are there. And
yeah.
It just amazes me the amount of people that say, oh, who's that, and they don't know who's in front of them. So I think just being knowledgeable and being interested in the people that are there, and that kind of helps.
Out of being a journalist and a stylist, which job do you love the most?
I think I do love shoots. I'd worked for Jones the Bootmaker for 3 or 4 years in a row. I think it was 4, doing their each season doing their runway shows and for their stores. So everybody that worked in the stores basically come in to see review lines for each season, and that was fantastic working with live models. I think I used to have 12 models that I was in charge of and dressing them, and each had about 12 outfits each. So I mean, it was a huge weekend and it was a huge thing. I used to really enjoy doing that. Photo shoots are always good fun, but it's always never, it sort of fails to amaze me that a couple of pictures will probably take about 3 or 4 days worth of work just to back those up. But I do enjoy writing, and obviously working with Next at the moment for the blog I do for them. It's nice just to be able to sit down and write what you're actually thinking and what's going on at that point in time. But I think styling will always be a little bit up there more than the writing side, I think, sort of visually.
Yeah, no, definitely. What are your top 10 must-haves in your wardrobe?
One of my friends, stylist Trudy Marie, she used to hate them. I think everyone I know, stylist-wise, has a pair of Ugg boots.
It's essential.
If you're going to 8 appointments in one day with a huge suitcase, Ugg boots are quite, I wouldn't say stylishly, but they're probably an essential to my job. I think probably the better alternative would be ballet pumps. I probably do own about 15 pairs of ballet pumps. They do seem to be the thing. But I think French sole ballet pumps, I probably couldn't live without them.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Other things, I think another one is a satchel bag. I think my sort of satchels are very in vogue at the minute, and they're very in fashion, but I think satchels are something that you leave your hands free, especially if you're on the tube, or if you are styling, you can still have everything on you over your shoulder. So I've got a leather satchel bag that would probably be one of my key things as well. My Earl jeans Absolutely love them. I'm a bit of a denim snob. I do kind of like the decent sort of brands, and I do think it is worth investing in a decent pair of jeans that will see you right through. My 7 Forman kind jeans I've had for about 6 years, and they still look great when you look at them. I think it is definitely worth investing in a decent pair of jeans. Also, leggings. I'm a big fan of leggings. Not everybody can pull them off. Trini and Susanna once told me how I had lovely ankles when I was wearing leggings. They proceeded to tell everybody in the room how they hated leggings, and I said, but that lady's got lovely ankles. But I do find that leggings are very easy to wear, and that you can dress them up and down. And I think when you're styling other people, you don't want to be worried about, I'm going to bend down and people are going to see too much or whatever. I think they are a good thing, and you can sort of go through several trends with leggings, sort of wearing different things over the top of them. So they're a big thing for me as well. And I have a huge thing, a lot of people that know me, about houndstooth. And I have about 4 houndstooth contact jackets. And one of them is like a Chanel-esque sort of box tweed jacket. And that, again, I think I've had that about 10 years, and it's something that had come out all the time. You know, instantly to go somewhere and sort of look smart, that's going to transform what you're wearing. I've also got a long maxi skirt. Maxi seems huge recently, the past few years, and I've got a pleated black maxi skirt, and it's vintage Jaeger. I bought that on eBay, and it was so cheap, and I would say that was one of my big staples as well. The Jaeger Maxi, definitely. I think for winter, I've got to have decent boots as well. I've got a beautiful pair of Clark's boots. I think all Clark's are like school shoes, what you used to wear when you were at school, but they're sort of very Victorian look, and they seem to have sort of lasted several seasons. Good pair of leather boots, it's worth investing in a decent pair and them seeing you through, as it is with jeans. So yeah, they would be my essentials. I don't know if that's quite 10.
What's the best advice for a stylist on a shoot to, one, get into magazines, and also how to style her own photographs? What would you advise?
I think styling wise, I always think if you have a plain background and you look at the details correctly, that always looks best. I think if you go too fussy, sometimes you're lost in translation and the background says more than the clothing does. At the end of the day, designers are trying to sell their outfits and their clothing, so you have to make the clothing the star. So I think it's when sort of plain mannequins, or actually not using the mannequin at all, sort of comes into its own. I used to be a fan of hanging things from fish wire quite a lot, especially shoes, and it's literally the shoe itself is all you're seeing, and styling that in a certain way can be the most successful way for people to see something. I think getting into magazines and getting into styling in the industry, 100% I would say work experience. A lot of people, there's a big debate about interns and if they should be paid, if they shouldn't be paid. I myself did 4 weeks in total unpaid, and it obviously paid off for myself. I do know people that have done years and years and years, and I think it's not very good of magazines to use people for a long term if they're not planning on taking them on. At Star, we used to do sort of 2-3 months maximum, and then people couldn't stay any longer than that if there wasn't a chance of a position. But I think actually in gaining experience and gaining contacts, most certainly interning is definitely the way to go.
Yes, that's good advice. So what's happening next for you?
Continuous stuff next. They're showing their high summer stuff next week, so as I blog for them, it's quite an important thing for me to see their collections and writing about those. I also obviously write in from sort of a parenting aspect for them as well, but style sort of is incorporated into that, so I've got that coming up. And I'm also doing a big shoot in a few weeks for a spray tan company, which is different for me. And that's actually going to be clothing the people in their spray tan, so that's going to be a challenge for myself, making that look good. I've also got a friend who's a model who is launching a bikini range, so I'm going to be doing the lookbook for her. So I've got that coming up, and then my second book, which I start in February, so we're going to be shooting throughout the summer till about September, October for that, so hopefully that'll be out next year.
I'm so proud of you. I think it's amazing what you do and how you do it. And like I said to you before, you do everything so effortlessly. I wish you all the luck for your next book and all your other adventures.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
If you would like to know more about Luanne McLean, go to her website, which is shown now. And you could also visit my website, which is www.happy4pr.com. And if you have an interesting story to tell, please get in touch.